Hey everybody, I'm back with another update on vibe coding. This is part 3. I started with a video on Rosebud AI, which was pretty fun. Then I kind of moved on to Gemini Canvas, because of limitations to Rosebud, mostly because of how fast I use the credits. And then Gemini Canvas is a kind of a free option. And I did some more research. Found out about Cursor AI, which is like a branch or like a version of VS Code. And I never used VS Code before, and I was trying to stay away from any IDEs at first, but it seems like now I kind of ran out of options, because Gemini Canvas is free, but it's all done on like a single HTML page, so it's not very optimized. And eventually I do want to try publishing and selling some of these games. Not using Rosebud, I decided just to try Cursor. I installed it, and it actually wasn't that bad. It has a terminal, kind of you can see here on the screen. You can just prompt stuff here in the terminal, and it has an agent, has different language models here. If I turn it off auto, you kind of see the different language models it offers. Of course, it's Cloud AI that is on right now, but I usually use auto. Saves credits. But yeah, so this video I kind of want to just go over some of this stuff, and just show you the current project I'm working on. And I'll put bookmarks here so you kind of skip through all this. And you can probably see myself in the corner here. Someone told me it's good for people want to see a person in the video, so I put myself in the corner. Maybe that'll help my viewers go up. But yeah, and again, I'm not a programmer. I have a background in in-game design, mostly levels, and this is the first time trying any code. I will say, I do know some Blueprint, and I've done some systems design stuff previously in the past, but I'm more of a levels guy. And and things I say here, it's not professional advice or anything. I'm just kind of talking about my workflow here, what I'm currently trying out. So make sure if you like this content, like and leave a comment if I'm saying anything wrong, or if there's any alternative solutions. I'm always willing to listen. So let's start. So here, kind of on my screen here, you see Cursor AI, and on the left side here, panel here is all the all the scripts that it generated for me. And I try to break everything out as much as possible. Because you want to keep things modular, so the AI doesn't need to go through as many lines of code to kind of fix, add features or fix the issues that you bring up to it. And starting to incorporate 3D assets too. I'll go over that and how I'm getting the models in. And folder for effects. All my enemies are class based, and I have a lot of systems going on now too, with like the wave spawning, and just trying to think systematically and break things down into components or classes, so easier to manage and debug is what I read. So that's what I'm trying. I did a big refactor a couple of days ago, so this is kind of where it's at right now. And this is these are all the code. I'm sure if you're a programmer, you might know what's actually all this is doing, but for the most part, what I do is I tell it to put stuff into tunings JavaScript, and this is where I could kind of tweak the values and see, just make sure things are working and things are fun or whatever. That's kind of how I'm doing it here. And typically when I use Cursor, I really like the plan mode now. And you basically just tell it what you wanted to build, and it'll even ask you questions. So I think this is a pretty cool feature. I don't know if this is something Cursor AI offers, or it's not in other IDEs or other things like that. that I'm not aware of. But plan is really good. I also do a lot of asking before implementation. So planning and asking is kind of crucial now for me. It's just so you don't just automatically just start having it build stuff. And what's cool about planning is it'll ask you questions too. If it's certain things it's unsure about, and it really works well with the Cloud AI option here. Would you go to the Sonnet 4.5? So. And for big tasks, like when I'm really trying to break down the systems or create new systems for my game, I will do planning even now, sometimes the smaller stuff I will do planning as well, just to make sure, you and the AI are in agreement on what features that you want to implement. So yeah, that's kind of how this works here. Yeah, the thing is, I'm running into a similar problem as Rosebud AI, where you basically run out of credits really fast. And yeah, you can see here the pricing. You could try for free. I just jumped in and went with the pro plan. Give you $20 worth of credits, and it literally took me like 3 days, and I used up $20. But what's cool about Cursor, at least on the $20 plan, they'll just give you free credits, and they gave me like additional 180 credits for my project, and that was only in a week, and I basically burned through that. But it's generous of them. Else I would have had to stop and wait till the next month to get my 20 credits back. But since I did get stuck, they gave me free credits. I decided just to upgrade. I think that's probably why they do it. They want to, give some stuff for free, right? Get some drugs, crack for free or something, and then get you hooked. And then make sure you want to, I can't stop now. My project's like, I'm in the middle of a feature, so there you go. I'm stuck now. I'm paying $60. And I'll tell you right now, if I go back to Cursor, yeah, I'm already at 51%, and I just paid $60 for the subscription, 2 days ago, and the new features I added are already eating up all this. And I could kind of show you that too as well in here. You kind of see it gives you pretty detailed what you're prompting and how much it costs to prompt. So, but if you compare it to hiring an actual programmer, it's still much cheaper, right? Like I'm paying like $5 per feature, or if I had to pay my friend, Tom or Danny, maybe they'll charge me like $200 or $500 an hour or so for a feature. So I'm saving money here. So yeah, maybe I'm getting a good deal on this. So let me turn the music down a little bit. So yeah, these are all the features I'm prompting, and here you can see it shows you when I'm using Claude. Yeah, and some of the prompts get kind of expensive. It's all like microtransactions. Like this one's like $1. I think sometimes I got screwed. Like it was like running a loop, and it would just not do the task, but it would still charge me quite a bit. Like maybe something was up to like $2 or $3 even. I saw like a $7 one. But this is when I was getting free credit, so I didn't bother, asking support about it. But so you got to be careful. I think I actually let it run on a task, and I just left, and it was like it kept looping and looping and looping, and it just like didn't start anything. So I had to cancel the task. So yeah, there's that. Yeah, so quickly ran out of credits. I'm on the $60 plan. Yeah, and if you're in the middle of the project, it's kind of hard to stop. So that's kind of where I was at. Let's see. Oh, one thing I want to mention too is I've been using more Gemini canvas again to kind of help me prototype before I actually get the AI to do the work. So I'm getting free AI Gemini to do the work. Then I'll have like Cursor AI, integrated into my actual game. So I'll kind of show you that too. See here. So here. So here's my actual game that I prototyped. It's basically a top-down shooter with defense elements and incremental type gameplay. And you just have a turret. Enemies come in. There's a wave system. You can switch weapons. You can upgrade these. There's like a homing projectile too. And then lastly, recently I just put a laser in, so you could burn enemies too. But yeah, this is kind of like what I did. I just basically have Gemini make my game first, so I could get the code, and then throw it into Cursor AI. And I just recently started doing this because, I'm spending credits trying to get Cursor to do stuff for me, but really, why not get it for free on Gemini, right? While I can. So basically, yeah, I take this. I even prompted to give me the code, the script in modular form, so I could easily integrate it. I even asked it how to prompt things, so I could get Cursor AI to do exactly what I want. But yeah, so here's this prototype here, and I'll actually show you the actual game on itch.io here. I have a current build up, so start the build, play on full screen. Let me go and debug here. So I prompted all this debug stuff, so you kind of see. So it's very similar. The camera is slightly different. I just need to add effects. So here's the gun, and you can choose different gun. I have the bounce gun as well. And all this code I got initially from Gemini, and I put it into Cursor to integrate into my systems. And that worked out pretty well. So it's a good way to do it. And then here's the homing shot. It's the spread homing. And there's also a single shot homing version. So these weapons you upgrade later. I'm working on like a skill tree type system. I'll show you guys that in a little bit too. And yeah, lastly again, the laser. It's working here. I actually just found a bug while testing this where it stopped doing damage. Probably because I was toggling the different weapon types. But yeah, I'll show you some of the other features I got AI to implement for me, like this debug system here. It was really hard to figure out what the code was doing, and instead of prompting it constantly, to figure it out, it's easier just for me to visually see things. So, I have debug here that shows all the colliders. So just in case there's any bugs that come up with collision, I could kind of visually see it. And then I also have this handy rotate camera orbit around the center here, so I could kind of see, what's spawning, what's appearing in my game. Yeah, and there's different checkboxes here. Like for example, to hide the planet. Like at one point, all the enemies were spawning in the center at 0, and I thought they were dying, but I couldn't figure it out. So until I added this debug, I was kind of able to see them visually, and then tell the AI that that's what they're doing. They're going to 0. Yeah, so these are kind of things I added to improve my workflow. I have easy spawning enemies here. I just keep clicking on these and enemies will spawn out. I have the basic enemies here, orbital enemies, and these are just all the different movement patterns that I've got AI to create for me initially. Here's a driller enemy. This is the only one that I've arted so far, the driller. So yeah, that's it so far for that on the enemy side. In order to see the enemies properly, because there's there's no scene to edit any of these things. Like if I was to use Unreal, I asked it to make a tool for me in the model viewer. So basically I could see the model, how it looks in game, and I could prompt it to do things, make adjustments like making the mesh rotate or something like that, or things are aligned or offset, things like that. So it's kind of useful here for me. And then most recent update is the audio. I could adjust the volume. It's only music though. The sound effects is separate. I haven't implemented any of that yet. So yeah, that's the debug menu. And in my game, you can place turrets down. The turrets will target the enemies. And then this is a flat upgrade system right now, but I'm gonna do a skill tree later on. And then yeah, that's pretty much what I got so far on the game itself. And yeah, you can play on itch.io. I'll link it. And it's pretty much same as the Gemini version. It's just slightly more enhanced. But yeah, and this version actually took me only like a day to prompt, or less than a day. That's pretty crazy. Yeah, about the skill tree here, again, I'm prototyping the skill tree here in Gemini first. I'm asking it to make me a tool here where I could hook up dependencies and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. You can link things up, and you can change the icons as well. And these icons come from like a free open source library you can get. Yeah, you can I could click here, add another node, whatever I want to call a skill later on, and this will all be tied back into my game later. That's kind of like what I'm working on here. Yeah, let's see. So I covered that. Yeah, how am I making the assets for this game? So I'm using this app called Asset Forge. It's made by Kenny. He's a pretty well-known guy in the indie community on itch.io as well. He's made a bunch of free assets, and this is a kit bash modeling tool. And you can basically just add shapes and scale them, so whatever, and turn them into whatever you want, and merge them together and stuff like that. And I just basically export it out into the file format for 3JS. Yeah, so I think that covers everything. Yeah, if you like this video, put a like on it. If you want to, especially if you want to see more of this stuff, I'll start giving more regular updates on the development. And yeah, the goal is to finish something, right? Just to get something out. Yeah, leave any comments, questions you want. It'd be great to hear some feedback. If you played the game, leave it directly in the itch.io page. Yeah, I think I'll end it here. Thank you.